I'm Mae Trumata from the upcoming. It's so lovely to meet you guys today. Nice to meet you. And the first question I have is, could you just give us a brief introduction into this film, what people can expect when they go ahead and see it?
So this is a really hard film to explain. Spent the entire festival trying to explain it, and I'm still really struggling. It has songs and music and singing and choreography and drama and actors and costumes and sets, and the only word that I can find that kind of encompasses all of that is musical. So I'm kind of calling it a musical, but I think there's probably...
I'm still pretty unhappy about the term musical. I heard it described the other day as a fantasia, which I thought...
That's better, yeah.
Kind of, there's something going on there. It stemmed from the discovery of an old box of hundreds and hundreds of love letters and postcards that covered the whole of Geraldine Flower's life. That box then became an album in Emiliana Torini's imagination, and so we wanted then to take the kind of the collective sense of the box and the album and make that into a film that was equally as kind of creative, as equally as lives in the middle of the imagination.
And what was it about the Emiliana's writing and these letters, the cathartic experience of, comparing and contrasting both the songs that she's written and the letters? What was it about those things that made you want to be part of telling this story to the world?
Well, one of the best things about it is that you're allowed different voices in it, and the film can really do that, In the song, Emiliana's kind of reading from the letters as well as kind of singing from a perspective or from Geraldine's perspective, whereas we were able to kind of put the letters back into the mouths of men in particular, which I think brings a real lovely dimension to it and a humour to it as well. Richard Ayoade reading about comparing Geraldine to wine just cracked us up when we were filming. It's so beautiful, really nicely done, and it just brings a load of other kind of flavours to it.
Honestly, it was Emiliana. Emiliana is so charismatic and magnetic and just so kind of compelling to spend time with that as soon as we met her, we were just keen to work with her. So this has been a really wonderful opportunity to do that.
And having Zoe Flowers on board to be able to help tell this story about her mother as well. What was it like? How did you pitch it to her?
I mean, it wasn't really a pitch, but the thing that's been really interesting about having Zoe involved in the project is that you get sort of both versions of the truth. You get the truth of Emiliana's imagination that tells these stories in a way where she's allowed to kind of run free and imagine all sorts of crazy things in Geraldine's life. But then you also have Zoe who's able to go, well, actually, that's not quite true, and that's maybe not quite who that guy was, and maybe he wasn't a spy working for the government and things like that. So it's been kind of interesting to see both sides of a story, but fortunately both of them were just so open to us taking those stories and being creative with them. So it's not a true story, but it's a true story.
I think the best thing about working with Zoe is that she's so loved. She's so loved by actors and filmmakers across the independent British film scene, and therefore she just drew people to this project, and people were willing to give us their time for really kind of modest return. That's what was so incredible, that I feel like we've ended up with something that's so rich and special, and yet was pulled together in record time and on a modest budget. Yeah, I'm really proud.
As far as the takeaways, letters as a form of communication and also songwriting as a form of storytelling, what do you hope audience, when they go and see this, what do you hope they will take away in terms of like moving forward with how they listen to music and how up and coming musicians, how they work on their songs and writing?
Well, I think we're often, in fact, I'd say always looking to inspire people with our work, or to empower them maybe to feel like taking that creative step or making that creative act happen is worth it. It's just worth it. It makes you a better person, and you stand a chance of changing somebody else's mind or the world. So I think, we're always looking for that. But we are losing the art of letter writing, and hopefully this might send some people, back to handwriting letters to people that they love.
Yeah, I think, technology encourages us to condense everything, reduce everything, say it in less words. And I think, there's a lot to be said for sometimes saying it in more words. So I hope it might encourage people to, even if they're not going to go back to writing letters with pen and paper, maybe, write a longer email.
Thank you so much. It was an honor.
Thank you.